I wanted a basketball hoop. Nothing fancy. White. Envelope. Black ink. Stamped with a smile that hid a threat. Basketball hoops are not permitted in this neighborhood. No warning. Just a hard nitrogen monoxide from the people who never bothered to ask why I wanted it in the first place. They said it was a distraction. Said it would lower the value of the community. You. Know what I heard? I heard fear. I heard control. I heard the kind of silence that keeps dreams buried. I stared at that letter for a long time. And in that silence, something inside me snapped. Not in rage, but in resolve, because if I couldn't have a hoop, then I'd give myself something even bigger, not just for me. That made my neighbors stare. That made the HOA lose its mind. I built a full-size basketball court in my backyard. You tell the wrong person no, and they answer with everything they've got. Asterisk, so listen closely. If anyone's ever told you that your dreams don't belong, subscribe right now, because this channel, it's not about rules. It's about building. Something they can't ignore. Asterisk, I moved here for peace. A place where I could catch my breath after long days at work, and all I wanted was a hoop. Not a party, not fireworks. To feel that thud of the ball hitting the pavement, that sweet snap of the net, that rhythm that heals the soul. So I bought one. We shot for hours. Laughed. Missed. High-fee-ved.4 once. Everything felt right. But 3 days later, it showed up. A letter taped to my door. Cold. Corporate. No signature. No hello. No conversation, just rules. Regulations, fines, basketball hoops are prohibited in all front-facing driveways. Remove it immediately or face financial penalties. That was it. No warning, no respect. Just another reminder that even in your own home, you're still in their world. I walked inside. To the chest, this isn't about basketball. This is about control. They didn't see a father and son. They saw a threat to their spotless little picture. A bounce, a laugh. What they didn't know was who they were dealing with. Asterisk, that night felt heavier than most. The house was quiet, but not in a peaceful way. It was the kind of quiet that makes your skin itch, and no one's saying it out loud. I glanced over at my son. He wasn't eating, just pushing food around his plate. Then he whispered, "Why don't they want us to play?" And I swear to you, I could even handle the fines. But watching my son start to believe that his joy was a problem, that he was a problem, nah, that wasn't going to happen. Because I remember being that kid. I remember being told to lower my voice, to stop dreaming so big, to be realistic. I remember burying who I was just to fit into a world that never made space for me. And I wasn't about to let that cycle repeat. I walked outside, stared at the empty driveway, the faded outline of the free throw line we painted still barely visible, and I swear to God, in that moment it felt like a grave. And that's when the idea hit me. If they won't let me put up a hoop, I'll build a whole damn court. A full court in my backyard, where my son can play till the sun disappears and the stars show up to cheer him on. And the best part, every time a ball bounces, every single echo would be a reminder that we don't fold. We build. So I walked back inside, opened up my laptop, typed 4 words into the search bar, how to build court. And that was it. That was the moment everything changed. Asterisk, it started with a whisper. At first, it felt insane. Didn't have a crew. Didn't even have the space mapped out. But I had one thing they couldn't regulate. The kind that grows when they laugh at you. I started watching YouTube videos at midnight. Court. Build cement pours. Drainage systems. Leveling ground. I became obsessed. While the world slept, I planned. I started sketching designs on napkins at work. I measured the backyard by hand twice. I printed out court dimensions. I priced materials down to the cent every break at work. Every doubt I had replaced by something louder. There. Gonna see this? When I told my friends what I was doing, they laughed. You serious? That's overkill, man. You really gonna waste that much money over a hoop? But they didn't get it. This wasn't about a hoop anymore. This was about the principle, the message, the legacy. Because if I let this slide now, if I taught my son to back down quietly, what's next? To the fencing? COMPANY. I maxed out time, not credit cards. Didn't tell the neighbors. I was building it for freedom. And once that first truck rolled up, and got to work, because dreams don't build themselves. And this was war. First came the measurements, the rule makers. So I made sure every angle, every permit I could legally pull was tight. I cleared the space myself, ripped out bushes, moved rocks, leveled ground with a wheelbarrow, and sweat no contractor. I laid the foundation for the court like I was building a cathedral, poured concrete until my hands were raw, painted lines under moonlight. Ordered the exact same breakaway rim I dreamed about as a kid. This was sacred, and every time I looked at my son, standing at the edge of the dirt watching, I saw it in his eyes, Hope, wonder, pride. Pride, he asked. Is this really all for me? And I told him the truth. It's for you. It's for me. It's for anyone who's ever been told to shrink. We built it slowly, one layer at a time, rain delays. Because by now, it wasn't just a court, it was a symbol, and I wasn't just building it. I was becoming it. Asterisk, you think they were just gonna sit back and watch? Nah. Once the concrete started flowing, the calls came in. We've received several complaints. This violates community standards. They said the court was unsightly. Said it disrupted the uniform look of the neighborhood. Said it wasn't in harmony with the visual aesthetics of the community. You know what that means? It stood out, it was loud, it was alive. It didn't blend in, and that scared them. They tried scare tactics, letters every other day, threats of fines, then dropped them in a shoebox I labeled fuel. They knocked on my door, and I said, then maybe this neighborhood would finally feel like home. But let me be clear, I wasn't fearless. There were moments I hesitated. Nights I lay awake, wondering what I was risking. Could I lose the house? Would they try to come after me in court? Was I being stupid? But every time I thought about quitting, I'd walk to the back window and see the shape of the court forming. The lines, the rim. Meeting was going to take that from us. Asterisk, the morning it finished, the air felt different. Like the world had shifted just slightly, but enough that I could feel it in my chest. It was quiet, but not the kind of quiet the HOA wanted. This was sacred. Silence, the kind that comes before the roar. I walked outside barefoot. My son followed. We just stood there looking at it. The court was done, paint lines straight, the rim glinting in the morning sun, backboards smooth, glass clear, a full regulation-sized court tucked behind our home. Like a hidden world we built with our own hands, my son looked up at me, didn't say a word, just held the ball out. You shoot first, he said, so I stepped to the free throw line. The same line we painted in chalk months before. When we thought a dream this big was illegal, I bounced the ball once, twice, took a breath, shot, swish, that sound. It wasn't just a bucket. It was a bomb going off. It was the sound of every no I'd ever heard being burned to the ground, and just like that, we were free. It didn't matter what the neighbors thought. It didn't matter how many letters they sent. The court was here, and it was ours. Word spread fast. First the neighborhood kids came, then their parents. People who'd never waved at me before were now asking if they could just shoot around. For a bit, the same ones who voted against the idea, now watching their kids fall in love with it, and me, I just stood on the sidelines, arms crossed. Watching my son run full court drills with a smile so wide it could split the sky. They built fences, I built freedom. They wrote rules, I wrote memories. They said no, and we answered with this. Asterisk, you ever stand in the middle of something you built with your own two hands and just breathe it in? That's what this court became. Not just concrete and paint, but a living, breathing piece of who we are. No permits, no permission, just purpose. The day we finished it, my son invited every single one of his friends over. They came running, like the court was calling them. One kid showed up with torn sneakers. Another brought a flat ball. Didn't matter for the first time. In a long time, this neighborhood felt like a community. We had 10-year-olds running full court. We had teens dunking on lowered rims. We had parents laughing on the sidelines, drinks in hand, eyes off their phones, hearts wide open. It wasn't just a basketball court. It was a reminder of what happens when you say yes to something bigger than fear. And you know what? The HOA stopped showing up. They sent one last letter. Please keep noise levels within reason. I framed it, hung it right next to the scoreboard, because this noise, this joy, this freedom, it's staying. And if that makes some people uncomfortable, good. It means it's working, because we didn't build this to fit in. We built it to stand out. To show my son and every kid who laces up on this court that you don't have to wait for permission to live out loud. So when you ask me why I built a full court in my backyard, the answer's simple, because they told me I couldn't. Asterisk years. From now, this court will crack. The paint will fade. The rim might rust. But what we built here, that'll never disappear, because this isn't just a space to play. It's proof. Proof that when they try to silence you, you get louder. When they try to box you in, you break the walls. When they tell you no with everything they've got, you answer with everything you are. This court is a memory. For my son, a symbol for the neighborhood. A message to the world. Don't shrink. Don't wait. Don't bow. Build. Whatever it is. A court. A dream. A life you don't have to escape from. Because one day, the kids who run on this court will be told no to told to stop. Told to be smaller. And maybe, just maybe, they'll remember this place and say, nah, I come from builders. So to the HOA, to the clipboard carriers, to every rule that forgot people come first, thank you. You lit a fire you couldn't put out, and now, every bounce of this ball, every laugh, every jump shot, every late night game. That's the sound of us still playing, still dreaming, still free. Asterisk, if you've ever been told to sit down, shut up, or stay small, this story's your blueprint. Asterisk, when they say you can't, look them dead in the eyes and build it anyway. Years will pass. The paint on this court will crack, peel, and fade. The rim will rust. The backboard might even shatter one day. But what we built, what we fought for, that will never fade. Because this court isn't just concrete and lines. It's a heartbeat, a story, a rebellion carved into the ground beneath our feet. This is a legacy for my son so he knows he's never too small to dream big. A legacy for the kids who will play here long after I'm gone so they know freedom doesn't come from rules, but from courage. A legacy for every single person who's ever been told no, not here or not now. You see, they didn't just try to take away a basketball hoop. They tried to take away joy. They tried to silence laughter. They tried to cage spirit, but spirit can't be caged. Every shot taken here is a middle finger to fear. Every bounce echoes louder than their rules. Every cheer from the sidelines is a victory chant for the underdog and me. I'm not just proud because the first built a court. I'm proud because I refused to let no be the final word. Because I showed my son and the world what happens when you stand tall, when you build your own path. When you refuse to disappear quietly one day, my son will grow up. He'll face his own battles, his own no's. But he'll have this court, this memory, this foundation, and he'll know exactly what to do. He'll build, because this is more than a basketball court. It's a symbol of resilience, of hope, of the fire that never dies. So to anyone out there watching this, feeling boxed in or held down, let this be your spark. You don't need permission. You don't need their approval. You only need the courage to start. Build your court. Build your dream. Build your life. Because when they say no, that's when you say, watch me, and you keep building, no matter what.